of flamenco dance with a master. Some dancing on the wild side, flamenco.
The group includes a lawyer, an architect, a construction worker, and a psychologist. One woman came from Indonesia, another hitchhiked from Montana. There's a 10-year-old schoolgirl and a 57-year-old housewife. And for the past 2 weeks, they've all been doing the same thing together in a 100-year-old former Baptist church in Bellingham. What they're doing and why they're doing it is Greg Palmer's subject tonight on the Palmer Method.
Teo Morca is one of the foremost flamenco dancers in the world. With his wife Isabel, he runs the Morca Dance Academy in Bellingham, and every August conducts America's only flamenco workshop. The 36 students come in all shapes, ages, and levels of experience. All they have in common is admiration for Teo and adoration for the rhythms, theatricality, and sensuality of flamenco.
Just think about the hands. Hands saying something. Press into the floor. Like you're going to do 100 turns. Down, down, hold. Suave, skirt. Eso es. I've had people tell me it's the ultimate therapy. When they go out of here, they feel, hey, they can move their hands, move their hips, and feel good about themselves.
It's the rhythm. I used to be a jazz musician before I was a lawyer, and there's a common interest, a common feeling between jazz music and flamenco music. And I hear that. I don't care how tired I am. I hear that the compás, and my pulse starts getting faster, and I pick up and just come alive. I just love the music.
Sharp. Arms coming up, and the 2. Right arm. 1, 2, 3. Train.
Flamenco comes from a country where age doesn't matter. The older person gets, the better she or he becomes in flamenco, because flamenco has a lot of soul.
Look, look. Mira.
Since you hear these rhythms all day, you stir your cup of coffee and you hear bum, 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 ba, da, da, and you keep hearing it while you walk. You start to walk in compas and rhythm, and this is more rhythm than you can handle.
Hey.
Some of the world's greatest flamenco artists are unknown outside their villages. The ones who hear the guitar and the clapping and, like their ancestors, can no longer sit still. They wouldn't understand a flamenco workshop, but the spirit that's here, that they would recognize immediately. In Bellingham, Greg Palmer, King 5 News.
One Morca fan right here.
Oh, very stirring, and in person you can't believe his fitness and his love of life. He's very good.
Marvelous, marvelous.
Is proud to be a part of Washington, the state of the arts.
Teo Morca and Paul Reimer have almost nothing in common. Morca lives in Bellingham. Reimer died years ago. Morca is a dancer of Hungarian-Spanish descent. Reimer was a writer as Midwest American as apple pie. All they have in common is genius. The work of Teo Morca and Paul Reimer is the best there is. And this month in the Northwest, we have a rare opportunity to see that work. Greg Palmer reports.
And stretch long. Nice, good. In. Fifth, lift the left arm, close.
Recently, an American tourist traveling in Spain mentioned to some Spanish dance people that she was from Seattle. Oh, they said, isn't that near Bellingham?
Left arm only. Stretch. Open. Stretch.
And the reason that happened is Teodoro Morca, here teaching a Spanish ballet class today at Pacific Northwest Ballet.
out.
Morca lives now in Bellingham, but his reputation as a flamenco dancer is worldwide. And all because, as a Los Angeles auto mechanic and student, he wandered into the wrong concert 37 years ago.
We went to the Philharmonic Auditorium in Los Angeles. Turned out to be a Spanish dance concert that Sal Hirag brought in. I absolutely flipped out. And before I knew it, I was seeking out people in dance, and I started studying. My very first performance was We Three Kings of Orient for an Armenian old folks home. Accent.
Morca'S rise was meteoric. He was a principal dancer in Spain in his early 20s, and he's never stopped. The very aspects of Spanish dancing that flipped him out 37 years ago seem to keep him young and vital today.
Flamenco has that cross-section of laugh and cry. I mean, it's just the whole thing, and you do it immediately. That's what people feel. Yes, it is sensual and sexual, but then that's the animal part. Flamenco is full of rhythm of life. We have, we're always looking for the ultimate counter-rhythm, so to speak, you know, the rhythm that turns people on. Rhythm by itself is real boring, you know, if you have a dripping faucet, how that is. But if you buy a record that has some... Once you get past the cliches of the stomping feet, the clacking castanets, the rose in the teeth, don't forget the Spaniards brought that on themselves. If you see a poster advertising Spain, what does it have? A bullfighter and a flamenco dancer, right? Because they're the tourist draw. So a lot of the tourist buses, as soon as they get to Madrid, they shushle them off to a tablao, and they give them a glass of cheap wine, and they see surface level of flamenco. But flamenco is at least a 500-year-old art form.
Last month, Morca and his wife Isabel performed for a student audience at Forest Ridge School. He works a lot with young audiences and young dancers, including each August teaching the only all-flamenco workshop in America.
I genuinely enjoy teaching people that genuinely would like to know what it's about. They're always the students that kind of walk up off the studio. I used to get, for instance, when a Greco would come through and people would call me, oh, I saw this flamingo show. Would you teach me? You know, it's so emotional and sexual and all the stuff that we were talking about. It moves me. I'm all turned on. And, of course, they come to class and they find out it's work.
Back at Pacific Northwest Ballet, Teo Morca's class is almost over. He is a man at the peak of his art, and he knows it, revels in it. Something audiences feel the moment he steps on stage. Morca appears this Sunday on King's Celebrate the Differences, and next weekend with Isabel and Sara de Luis, he can be seen at ACT Theater in 2 benefit performances for Pacific Northwest Ballet. Then it's back home for a while to one of America's most famous cities for Spanish dance, Bellingham. When we come